Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next hour. Fifth phase of voting for general election to be held on May 20th in 49 constituencies spread across 8 states and union territories. Meanwhile, campaigning for sixth phase begins with major political leaders ramping up their campaigns across various constituencies. Georgian president put a symbolic veto on the Russia-style foreign influence law that has sparked unprecedented protest warnings. Flash floods wreak havoc in Afghanistan. At least 50 people killed, with dozens still missing after heavy rain brings devastation. In Elorda Cup 2024, ace boxers Nikhat and Minakshi strike gold as India finish with 12 medals. And in Indian Premier League, Bengaluru snatch final playoff spot with 6th consecutive victory, beat Chennai Super Kings by 27 runs. All right, first let's get to the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. The fifth phase of voting for the Lok Sabha election will be held on May 20th in 49 constituencies spread across 8 states and union territories. Phase 5 of the general elections will witness voter participation from 14 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 13 in Maharashtra, 7 in West Bengal, 5 in Bihar, 5 in Odisha, 3 in Jharkhand and 1 each in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. According to the Election Commission, 695 candidates are in the fray for the fifth phase of polling. Some of the key candidates in the fifth phase include Congress leader Rahul Gandhi contesting from Rai Bareli seat, Union Minister Smriti Irani contesting from Amethi seat, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh contesting from Lucknow. All right, we'll go across to our correspondents now. Kriti Vadera is joining us live from Ayodhya and Dibyendu Mandal is joining us from West Bengal. Good morning, both of you. Kriti, I'll come to you first. All eyes on fifth phase as 14 Lok Sabha constituencies go to the polls in Uttar Pradesh. BJP will aim to repeat its 2019 parliamentary poll performance when it won 13 of the 14 seats in this phase in UP.
Oh, well, good morning, Abhishek. And yes, when it comes to Bharatiya Janata Party, right now I am standing in heart of Ayodhya. And yes, Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Temple can be considered as a big accomplishment for Bharatiya Janata Party, for which they have been taking leverage when it comes to the electoral equation India-wide. But still, when it comes to the people of Ayodhya, the locals of Ayodhya, they are seeking much more. For them, it seems that the glass is half empty. Because they agree to the fact that Ayodhya has faced major transformation when it comes to road approaches and infrastructure, but still there is a big vacuum, that there is a gap. What the voters of Ayodhya, when we were roaming around on the streets of Ayodhya, we were talking to them, they said that they need good medical facilities, they need good medical colleges here, and for every emergency or any problem, they have to rush to big cities like Lucknow from here. They need good education hub here, good colleges for higher studies, which are not here. So all such are the issues which we have been seeing in amongst voters. And when it comes to the political scenario amongst the parties, of course, Bharatiya Janata Party has fielded two-time Member of Parliament Lallu Singh, and now he seeks his third time hat-trick from the same seat. keeping in mind the equation of course, Ram Temple. And at the same time, India Alliance has fielded Bhesh Prasad, who appears to be again a mass leader, who is a 9-time member of Legislative Assembly from Milkipur Assembly seat, Faizabad parliamentary seat where I'm standing right now, which will be polling tomorrow, constitutes of 5 major assembly seats, amongst which Ayodhya is one of them. And nearby seats are, demographically if I talk about, few seats are Muslim dominated seats, and a few seats like Milkipur is Dalit nominated seat, and this India Alliance candidate comes from that particular assembly seat. He appears to be a mass leader, loved by many. So there's going to be a very tough fight when it comes to Bharatiya Janata Party, who is seeking votes on Ram Temple, and India Alliance, who is collectively seeking votes. And day before yesterday, there was a big rally which were for Rahul Gandhi in Rai Bareli, and Akhilesh Yadav along with Priyanka Gandhi were addressing masses there. So there's going to be a very tough fight here. And at the same time, Abhishek, we shouldn't forget that yesterday evening, political convincing has come to an end, but at the same time, the work of the administration has rigorously started, and Election Commission of India has been rigorously working, which is actually very commendable. I have seen the district administration working very hard when it comes to the safety security of EVM machines. Then, and let me just tell you, Abhishek, here that such parliamentary constituencies, they extend up to hundreds of kilometers from here, right from the remotest rural villages. So it is actually a very challenging situation when it comes to safety security of EVMs, then setting up of the polling booths. So there are 100, model polling booths which will be here tomorrow in this constituency. And when it comes to model polling booth, these booths will be digitally equipped. These polling booths will be having selfie points for the voters. So all such preparations are there in pipeline for tomorrow. Pink booths will be made exclusively for women voters, and at the same time, not to forget, it's so it's so hot here. So such preparations for voters to make them comfortable.
Right, Ayodhya is all set for phase 5 elections.
Stay
with us, Kriti. I'll ask about what voters are saying, what are the challenges, what are the demands. Stay with us. Meanwhile, Dibyendu, West Bengal will vote for the 5th phase of the Lok Sabha election on May 20th, tomorrow, in 7 crucial constituencies. Tell us about the interesting battles that are expected to take place.
Well, good morning, Abhishek. Of course, 7 crucial seats are going to polls in this particular phase of elections here in West Bengal. Of course, there are many interesting battles in these particular seats. First, where I am, the Bangaon Lok Sabha constituency, where the BJP's sitting Union Minister of State Shantanu Thakur is contesting elections against the Trinamool Congress's nominated candidate Bishwajit Das, who had been an erstwhile MLA of the BJP, now switched over to the TMC. He is fighting this election on a Trinamool Congress ticket. So, of course, this constituency is extremely important for the BJP because, remember, Abhishek, the Citizenship Amendment Act was implemented to give legal citizenship status to thousands and lakhs of Mathuas that had come from Bangladesh, Hindu refugee minorities that had come from Bangladesh to this part of Bengal and settled here for generations. They had been long demanding that they be given legal citizenship of India. The BJP fulfilled that demand in 2019 and implemented and solidified that law in March 2024. So the BJP it is of course a litmus test for the BJP to see whether the Citizenship the Citizenship Amendment Act implemented will give them political benefit here. Moving to the Barakpur Lok Sabha seat, of course, it's a heavyweight seat because Trinamool Congress's Partho Bhomik, sitting cabinet minister of the TMC government here, is contesting against the BJP's Arjun Singh. Arjun Singh has been a very strong local muscleman there in Barakpur. He joined the BJP in 2019. He left the BJP after 2021 Vidhan Sabha elections, rejoined Trinamool Congress, back again to the BJP just before the elections. Yes, of course, it's an interesting battle there as well. But if we go again to the Hooghly Lok Sabha constituency, where two contemporary actors, one from the BJP, the other from the Trinamool Congress, is contesting against each other. On one hand, we have Loket Chatterjee of the BJP, who is a sitting member of parliament. On the other hand, the Trinamool Congress has given the ticket this time around to her contemporary actress, Rachana Banerjee, who is a famous Bengali cinema actress and is a household name here in Bengal. So, of course, that battles by the TMC by fielding Rachana Banerjee. This battle is also turning interesting because Loket Chatterjee will have to face a strong candidate from the Trinamool Congress this time around. But this constituency is particularly important because of the fact that the rise of Mamata Banerjee as a mass opposition leader back then in 2006 was from here because of the fact that the Singur, where the Tata was supposed to set up a plant, but the TMC revolted and protested against it, after which the fall or the downfall of the left government began. It is this particular constituency, but the people of Singur says that over the last 12-13 years that the TMC have been in power, there have been no development in the area. So, of course, that will cut ice with the voters, and the voters will, of course, decide on who they would like to elect and send to the Parliament of India to be their voice for the central governments. Of course, this will, of course, also be a very interesting battle, and the rest of the seats that are going to polls also are some lukewarm seats for the BJP, because these are the three crucial seats where the BJP had won even last time. But the other four seats that are going to polls is, of course, also important because the BJP is expecting to increase its number this time around from the 18 seats that it won last time. So the BJP is taking the fight extremely importantly by analyzing it seat by seat. Back to you,
BJP expected to increase its numbers, you're saying, and interesting battles expected to take place. Thank you, Dibyendu. Appreciate it. And thank you, Kriti. But we'll keep taking updates from you. Moving on to our next story now. In Raebareli Lok Sabha constituency, the Gandhi name is central to every political discussion, be it among voters, the Congress party striving to maintain its stronghold, or the BJP fiercely contesting for victory. The Congress has so dominated this area that it has only lost Raebareli 3 times since independence in 1977, 1996 and 1998. Sonia Gandhi represented the constituency for 4 consecutive terms starting in 2004, and she has now handed over the reins to her son Rahul Gandhi. Watch this special report by DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya.
Raebareli, the constituency in Uttar Pradesh, is steeped in political history and family legacies. For over 7 decades, the Gandhis have held sway over this electoral stronghold. From triumphs to setbacks, the Gandhis have remained intertwined with Raebareli's destiny. But in the recent Lok Sabha polls, the winds of change are blowing. The BJP, emboldened by past gains, posing serious challenge to the Congress supremacy.
PM Modi did many good works. He built highways and improved the rail network.
This time we want our candidate to spend time with us, so that they can know about our happiness and misery. We want someone whom we can tell our problems and they can come and solve it. We are taxpayers, so we should get at least basic facilities, but none of it is visible anywhere.
As election fever grips Raebareli, critical issues take center stage. Development, employment and price rise weigh heavily on the minds of the voters, especially the youth. BJP's development without biased narratives resonates with many voters, but the Congress' long-standing association with the constituency cannot be discounted.
With alliances and shifting loyalties, the electoral landscape of Raebareli is more dynamic than ever. As Raebareli prepares to cast its vote, the echoes of its past mingle with the aspiration of its future, shaping the destiny of a constituency and the nation at large. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh.
All right, we'll go across to Tapas Bhattacharya. He's joining us live from Raebareli, Uttar Pradesh. Good morning, Tapas. Raebareli and Amethi are considered Gandhi family bastions. You showed in your report also. This time, Rahul Gandhi is contesting from Raebareli seat. From Amethi, BJP Smriti Irani will battle out very crucial seats for both the parties.
Absolutely, and it has been a Congress bastion for long, but just as I mentioned in the report also that Raebareli thrice has actually managed to upturn the Congress wave, and in Amethi we have seen last time in 2019 Smriti Irani did the David versus Goliath thing and defeated Rahul Gandhi, and it was a huge win for Smriti Irani in that sense. Now Amethi, as I mentioned, Smriti Irani is there, and for Congress it's KL Sharma, who's considered very close to the Gandhi family again. But the point I'm trying to make here is that KL Sharma's name came out in the last minute, and thus as we went out and we saw the place, we realized that there is hardly much of a campaigning that is done in Amethi. But again, in Amethi, most people go by, as I mentioned, the Congress name, the Gandhi's name. With Raebareli, the same scenario. Dinesh Pratap Singh from BJP is fighting against Rahul Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi came yesterday and she pitched, she actually gave a emotional speech to the voters, to the public, that I'm giving my son to you. So that sort of a way says a lot about how the family sees the whole political scenario. It's going to be interesting because we saw a lot of campaigning for BJP. We hardly saw much of campaigning for Congress, but what we've been told is that it's the silent voters that makes most of the electoral place. Now again in Lucknow, that's going to be an interesting scenario where Rajnath Singh, Lucknow is considered the BJP bastion. It's been a BJP bastion from 1990 onwards, and it has been with BJP since then, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee kind of made it his own constituency in that sense. So BJP has a lot of what you call sway in Lucknow area, and against him is Ravi Das Mehrotra from Samajwadi Party. Remember, Samajwadi Party and Congress has an alliance in Uttar Pradesh, so it will be interesting to see who comes out in a triumph in this particular battle. These are three crucial seats. Obviously there is other seats are also there. For instance, you have Kasarganj, where remember Karan Bhushan Singh, the son of Brij Bhushan Singh, is contesting, and then obviously you have Faizabad, the seat where a lot of people are looking up because Ayodhya is there. But in terms of this particular phase of election, these three seats, Raebareli, Amethi, as well as Lucknow, these are politically quite a stronghold. If the first two are there for the Congress bastion, considered Congress bastion, the last one, the Lucknow, is considered BJP's pocket borough. So in many ways it will be interesting to see whether this time around, just like 2019, whether any of the parties able to make inroads, especially in the Congress bastion. We have seen a lot of people are talking about the need for a change. Will that talk be converted into votes? That remains to be seen.
That will be interesting. But Tapas, temperatures are rising across the country, but hope there was no let up in the campaign heat. Tell us how crucial the factor of heat is. Voters plan to come out in big numbers to vote?
It is. It's quite hot. It's quite humid. In fact, the heat wave is currently going on in the whole of northwest part of the country, be it UP, be it Delhi, be it the whole northwest part of the India. You're talking about the temperature is varying somewhere in the region of 42 to 46 degree temperature. Places in Delhi, places in Uttar Pradesh have seen a temperature soaring quite considerably. I mean, I saw the list yesterday. Most of the places the temperature were over 44 degrees Celsius, and in that hot and humid condition, it is not easy to go out. It is imperative that one stays hydrated and drinks a lot of water and water-based food, so to keep themselves hydrated. But as I mentioned, tomorrow is going to be crucial. It's going to be again very hot, very humid, but one believes that voters will like to come in large numbers, because the election commission out here in all the districts, there are 14 districts that will go to polls tomorrow in this particular fifth phase of polling, and people want to come out in large number and exercise their right to franchise. One point just to mention here, out of the 14 seats, last time BJP won 13, and the only seat Congress won was the Raebareli. They lost the Amethi one. It will be interesting to see whether BJP managed to win all 14 or they come out short. And remember, from here onwards, it's going to be a make or break for BJP in UP. In total, in the next 3 phases, 41 seats will be up for grabs, and BJP would like to make most of it if they want to have any chance of touching the 400 mark that they were talking about.
Absolutely interesting battle coming up tomorrow. We'll leave it at that. Tapas, take care of your health and keep yourself hydrated. All right, we'll slip into a very short break. But on the other side, more stories. Keep watching DD India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Ladakh is going to polls on Monday for its single parliamentary seat in the 5th of the 7th phase national elections. Campaigning is over now and the Union Territory has seen a keenly contested battle by candidates of national parties like the BJP and Congress from Leh and an independent candidate from Kargil. The choice is tough for Ladakh's roughly 185,000 voters, but they are unanimous on one issue, that efforts to make the Union Territory carbon neutral by 2050 are going strong and should be taken further. DD India's Gautam Roy reports from Leh.
Ladakh has had a long-standing relationship with harnessing the sun's energy, be it lighting its streets or powering their homes. Solar water heaters, sold at rates subsidized to as much as 75% by the Ladakh Hill Autonomous Development Council in both Leh and Kargil districts, are an integral part of most Ladakh homes. The Union Territory gets bright sunlight 320 out of 365 days a year. In winters, when temperatures plunge to as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius, these solar water heaters are no less than lifesavers.
इसकी वजह से हमको सुबह शाम रात दिन हर वक्त गर्म पानी मिलता है, सब चाहे हाथ धोने के लिए चाहे नहाने के लिए बहुत फ़ायदा है सर। ये तो हमारे जो लद्दाख जैसे सर्दियों में बहुत काम में आता है।
Even e-mobility has been introduced in Ladakh with India's first carbon neutral integrated solar EV charging station where even private EV cars can be charged. The buses do the rounds of not only cities like Leh and Kargil but also ferry passengers to and from villages 70 to 80 kilometers away.
The government has already introduced 19 e-buses in the Union Territory of Ladakh for public transportation, and these buses are more comfortable, safety-wise. It's ergonomic-wise, it's cleaner, it's safer, and it's placed on different routes as it stands now.
Passengers using the service of electric public transport are appreciative of the efforts and want them to be extended further.
It's a good idea. If lots of people use electric bus except for their personal cars, there is a less chance their pollution will be increased. So in my case, I'll use many times electric bus when I reach in time.
But Ladakh is on the flight path of becoming carbon neutral by 2050, and multiple initiatives are being rolled out to make it happen. These range from making the Leh airport carbon neutral with an array of solar panels on its new and upcoming structures. Several mega solar power projects are also being set up in different parts of the Union Territory to power up the national northern grid. And a green hydrogen mobility project in Leh's Palam is also being readied to ply hydrogen-fueled zero-pollution buses. The goal to make Ladakh carbon neutral by 2050 may sound like a distant dream. But someone wise at once said that Rome wasn't built in a day. But with the way and the multiple facets that this work is being taken forward, this Rome will surely be built brick by brick, or shall we say solar panel by solar panel. With camera person Naveen Kumar Jha, Gautam Roy, Leh, Ladakh, DD India.
And the sixth phase of the Lok Sabha elections has officially commenced, with major political leaders ramping up their campaigns across various constituencies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is focusing his efforts on addressing rallies in key battlegrounds. Today, PM to address rallies in Jamshedpur district of Jharkhand. The Prime Minister will also address public meeting in West Bengal's Puluria, Bishnupur and Medinipur. And campaigning for the sixth phase gains momentum, with opposition also ramping up their campaign across various constituencies. Former Congress President Rahul Gandhi and Samajwadi Party National President Akhilesh Yadav are scheduled to jointly address a public meeting in Mungari, Karchana districts of Uttar Pradesh. And a delegation comprising several foreign diplomats, including Singapore High Commissioner to India, Simon Wong, and Nepal's ambassador to India, Shankar P. Sharma, attended Prime Minister Narendra Modi's public meeting in northeast Delhi on Saturday. Representatives from 13 diplomatic missions across the globe were present at the rally to observe the vibrancy of India's democratic process in action. Voting in Delhi for all 7 Lok Sabha seats will be held in a single phase on May 25th. And in connection with the alleged assault on Aam Aadmi Party MP Swati Maliwal, Delhi court sent Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's personal assistant Bibhav Kumar to 5 days in police custody on Saturday. The police emphasized that his custody was necessary for questioning him about the reason for the assault. The police noted that the accused did not provide the password for his mobile phone to the investigating agency. Moreover, Bibhav Kumar stated that his phone had been formatted in Mumbai due to malfunctioning. Our Rajya Sabha member Swati Maliwal filed an FIR at Civil Lines Police Station on Thursday, alleging Arvind Kejriwal's aide Bibhav Kumar of assaulting her at the CM's residence on May 13th morning. And the residents across India have been grappling with searing temperatures as a scorching heat wave grips several parts of the country. The Indian Met Department has issued a red alert for normal to severe heat wave conditions to prevail in northern India. The authorities has advised people to stay indoors since there is high possibility of developing heat-related illnesses from too much exposure to the sun. Whereas IMD has also forecast predictions of heavy rainfall in Kerala for the next 5 days and have issued a red alert in 3 districts of the state till May 20th. Now let's take a look at other stories making news. Since the sacred portals of Kedarnath Dham, one of the 12 Jyotirlingas, opened to devotees on May 10th, over 2 lakh pilgrims from across India and abroad have visited the revered site. In Jammu and Kashmir, terrorists opened fire at former Sarpanch Aijaz Sheikh in Shopian, who later succumbed to injuries at a hospital. In another incident, 2 people from Jaipur were injured after terrorists opened fire at a tourist camp in Anantnag district. On May 18th, an Air India Express flight from Bengaluru to Kochi made an emergency landing due to a reported fire in one of the engines. A full-scale emergency was declared and the fire was promptly extinguished upon landing. All 179 passengers and 6 crew members have been successfully evacuated from the aircraft. And the weavers of quaint village of Manipur gives banana fiber craft a new dimension of handloom. Artisans here are pioneering the use of banana fiber and giving a new dimension to traditional weaving and crafting techniques. This innovative approach not only honors the rich cultural heritage of the region, but also introduces a sustainable and eco-friendly alternative transition. All right, we'll slip into another short break. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Dominican Republic all get up for Sunday's presidential polls. Israeli minister threatens to quit, issues Gaza ultimatum to Netanyahu. And enjoying bilateral ties for decades, trade between Nigeria and India grows in the last 2 years.
The future may seem scary, but it is solutions like these that make it less bleak.
The interest in insect farming in India came only in the context of environmental management to convert these municipal and then organic waste.
There are around 10,000 crickets in this container. It contains over 60% protein.
At first, I took the initiative to stop the sewage runoff in my own home, using what I knew and on my own volition.
It's a research topic for the future, but it would be really good to be able to treat the water and be able to reuse it, and at the same time produce plants for human consumption and other uses.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of what we have done so far. Fifth phase of voting for general election to be held on May 20th in 49 constituencies spread across 8 states and union territories. Meanwhile, campaigning for sixth phase begins with major political leaders ramping up their campaigns across various constituencies. Georgian president put a symbolic veto on the Russia-style foreign influence law that has sparked unprecedented protest warnings. Flash floods wreak havoc in Afghanistan, at least 50 people killed, with dozens still missing after heavy rain brings devastation. In Elorda Cup, ace boxers Nikhat and Minakshi strike gold as India finished with 12 medals. Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz demanded on Saturday that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu commit to an agreed vision for the Gaza conflict. Gantz, in a press conference, said he wanted the War Cabinet to form a 6-point plan by June 8. If his expectations are not met, he said he will withdraw his centrist party from the Conservative Premier's broadened emergency coalition. Gantz said his proposed 6-point plan would include bringing a temporary US-European Arab-Palestinian system of civil administration for Gaza, while Israel retains security control. Now, fierce fighting underway in northern Gaza, where Israeli forces battle Hamas terrorists in the narrow alleyways of Jabalia. Israeli troops and tanks pushed into parts of Jabalia on Saturday. Jabalia is the largest of Gaza Strip's 8 historic refugee camps. Israel has conducted renewed military sweeps this month of parts of northern Gaza, where it had declared the end of major operations in January. The Israeli military said forces have continued to operate in areas across Gaza, including Jabalia and Rafah, carrying out what it called precise operations against terrorists and infrastructure. As the fighting raged, the US military said trucks started moving aid ashore from a temporary pier, the first to reach Gaza by sea in weeks. The World Food Programme, which expects food, water, shelter and medical supplies to arrive through the floating dock, said the aid was transported to its warehouses in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza and told partners it was ready for distribution. The United Nations earlier reiterated that truck convoys by land was still the most efficient way of getting aid in. And thousands of protesters rallied in Tel Aviv on Saturday, demanding the release of around 130 hostages still held in Gaza after 7 months of Israel's operation against Hamas. Demonstrators carried pictures of the hostages, chanted slogans and called for an immediate ceasefire and release of those being held captive. During the protest, dozens of protesters blocked the Ayalon highway in Tel Aviv, with clashes breaking out between protesters and the police. Another rally led by the Hostages and Missing Families Forum was held at Tel Aviv Museum's Hostage Square. Some families of hostages also demonstrated at the Begin Bridge outside the Defense Ministry headquarters. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry has said that all land crossings between Israel and the Gaza Strip must be open for full, safe and unhindered access of humanitarian and relief aid into the Strip. Shoukry made the remarks in a phone call with Sigrid Kaag, the United Nations Senior Humanitarian and Reconstruction Coordinator for Gaza. During the call, the two sides discussed the humanitarian fallout of the Israeli military operations in Rafah. Houthi rebels on Saturday hit a Panamanian flagged oil tanker of Yemen's Red Sea coast with an anti-ship missile, but the crew was able to restore power and maintain course. US Central Command in a social media post said that Houthis launched one anti-ship ballistic missile into the Red Sea and struck a Panamanian-flagged Greek-owned and operated oil tanker. There were no casualties reported by the ship. The strike was the latest in months of attacks on ships in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden by the Houthis. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that his country's forces have been repelling Russian attacks as Moscow claims to have captured a village in the Kharkiv region. Russia also said its forces shot down a Tochka-U missile fired by Ukraine. Meanwhile, Kiev has accused Russia of targeting civilians in two cities in Kharkiv, which has become the new front in the conflict. However, Zelensky remained confident that Ukrainian troops were in a stable position in the region. The Dominican Republic is all geared up for Sunday's presidential polls. Electoral authorities in the capital city of Santo Domingo reported on Saturday that preparations were going smoothly. Military personnel patrolled the exterior of the Central Electoral Board building as electoral staff carried and transported black packages containing voting materials. If no candidate wins more than 50% of the vote, a second round will be held on June 30th. Now, Georgia's president has vetoed a bill on foreign agents, saying that it was a Russian law that contradicts the constitution. However, the country's parliament is widely expected to overturn the veto.
I vetoed the Russian law. This law is Russian in its essence and its spirit. It contradicts our constitution and all European standards. Therefore, it represents an obstacle to our European path. From the legal point of view, this veto has no problems and this veto will be transferred to Parliament. This law is not subject to any changes and no improvements, and therefore this is a very simple veto. This law must be repealed.
The draft law triggered mass protests across Georgia and drew condemnation from the United States. The law would require organizations receiving more than 20% of the funding from abroad to register as agents of foreign influence. The draft law's opponents say that the bill states charges similar to what Russian dissidents face. Now, Vietnam's ruling Communist Party has named Tran Tan Man as the new chairman of the National Assembly as part of a major leadership reshuffle. His predecessor resigned last month over violations and shortcomings. 61-year-old Man has served as deputy chairman of the parliament since 2021. His appointment comes amid a major anti-graft campaign in the country. Lai Ching-te is to take oath as Taiwan's president on May 20th. With the opposition having a parliamentary majority, Lai could face a tough 4 years in office. Growing threat of military aggression from China is also expected to be a challenge for him. Lai has repeatedly offered talks with China but has been rebuffed. He says he will maintain peace and stability in the region, but that only Taiwan's people can decide its future. Prime Minister of Nepal, Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda, has returned to the Federal Parliament Secretariat to take a vote of confidence from the House of Representatives on May 20th. As per Article 100 of the Constitution of Nepal, the PM should table a motion for the vote of confidence within 30 days if a political party in a coalition government withdraws its support to the Prime Minister. PM will seek a vote of confidence after the Upendra Yadav-led Janata Samajwadi Party, Nepal, withdrew its support to the PM on May 13th after the split in the party. This is the first time that PM Dahal, who became the Prime Minister of Nepal on December 25th, 2022, has to undertake a floor test. The present coalition government needs the support of 138 MPs to secure a vote of confidence. In Nepal, a food and handicraft fair is organized in popular tourist destination Tamil of Kathmandu Valley. The fair offers a variety of cuisines and handicraft items to lure domestic and international tourists there. As many as 30 stalls showcasing Newari food and other locally cuisines and handicraft items of Nepal were installed at the fair. The musical fairs are organized to promote tourism in Kathmandu. So the trade between Nigeria and India has grown in the last 2 years to the tune of $20 billion. Both countries have enjoyed bilateral relations for decades and are working to deepen the relationship. DD India correspondent Ajak Mangut reports.
And Nigerians like spicy.
Vicky Tekchandani operates this Indian restaurant in Abuja, which he opened 2 years ago. He says business is booming.
We have different customers coming, like Nigerians are coming. They try their Nigerian food, Indian food, Chinese food, continental food like pizza, burgers. We are here for last 2 years and response has been very, very good.
Nigeria and India have enjoyed bilateral cooperation since the late 1950s. India is one of Nigeria's biggest trading partners, and Nigeria is one of India's biggest trading partners in Africa. This Indian business is among over 100 that are operating in Nigeria, and they cut across sectors such as pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, among others. Experts point to growing business between India and Nigeria, which in turn has boosted trade.
Moving from a trade volume of about 8.5 billion in 2021 to about 14.9 billion in 2022, and now we're at $20 billion. It's been quite a remarkable one. Our bilateral relations with India has continued to grow trade-wise, and I think that this is a place that we should continue to look at and focus.
Analysts say both countries could see trade volumes double in the next few years. A fluctuating exchange rate between Nigeria's naira and the dollar used for imports is causing some challenges. Indian officials in Nigeria say they are working, making it easier for businesses in both countries to thrive.
We certainly like to consolidate the ongoing relationship and work further, whether it is in the power sector or in the railway sector or in the fintech sector or in the defense sector. We would certainly like to agriculture, mining, and there are immense opportunities existing for both the countries to cooperate.
Nigeria and India are also in talks for currency swap that could see business transactions done in the Nigerian naira and the Indian rupee. This is expected to attract more businesses to both countries and grow existing ones like Vicky's. Ajak Mangut in Abuja, reporting for DD India.
Gopi Thotakura is set to become the first Indian space tourist. He is part of 6-member crew which will venture into space on the NS-25 mission of Blue Origin on Sunday. The mission is expected to lift off from a launch site, Texas in US. If the mission is successful, Thotakura will become the second Indian after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma to go into space. Blue Origin is an aerospace company established by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. At least 50 people dead after a fresh bout of heavy rain and flooding in central Afghanistan. Dozens others remain missing. The province said had suffered significant financial losses with thousands of homes and properties damaged. Hundreds of hectares of agricultural land have been destroyed due to floods. Calling the situation grim, authorities say the heavy precipitation is a serious concern for everyone. Now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Locals who depend on the traditional waterways in Mexico City denounced the damage caused by the drought and called for greater involvement by the authorities to resolve the problem. Mexico is facing a severe nationwide drought that has led to a worsening water crisis across much of the country, making water a key issue in the June general election. On Saturday, South Koreans shut their eyes and got comfortable for a sleeping contest aimed at raising awareness on the importance of rest in a nation that scores among the lowest sleep quality in the world. The power nap contest was held at the Han River Park in Seoul, where about 100 people gathered to get some competitive shut-eye for 1 hour and 30 minutes. The breakaway Republic of Somaliland held its 33rd Independence Day as attendees hoped the northern Somali enclave would gain international recognition as an independent state. A colourful parade showcased the region's culture and heritage as Somaliland's forces marched in front of top dignitaries of the autonomous territory. Kumbh Abhishekam Puja underway at the Sita Amman temple in Sri Lanka's Nuwara area. 5 sacred kalash or pots of Saryu River water from India's Ayodhya have been flown in for the consecration ceremony. Sita Man Temple is a Hindu temple located in Sita Elia village in Nuwara Elia. Ashok Vatika is believed to be the location where goddess Sita was kept hostage by Ravan. Alright, we'll slip into another short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. We'll get your glitz and glamour from the Cannes Film Festival. In sports, Iga Swiatek dominates Arna Sabalenka to clinch third Italian Open title in Rome. And celebrating rescued dogs, a puppy prom attracted many animal lovers in San Diego.
We are in Cannes, the famous city on the French Riviera. The 77th edition of the Cannes Film Festival is here. So soak into 12 days of world cinema and the hottest fashion trends. The famous 24 steps leading to the Palais des Festivals, where most of the cinema at this festival is screened, are beckoning. Join me, Munmun Bhattacharya, as I take you through all the buzz around the festival and on India's participation in it, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Now time to get you all the glitz and glamour from the Cannes Film Festival. Alright, today is day 6 of the Cannes Film Festival. 4 movies in the competition section of the festival this year are screening today at the Bharat Pavilion. A session with Indian music maestro A.R. Rahman is slated to take place. On day 5 of the Cannes Film Festival on Saturday, Masum Ali's In Retreat screened in a sidebar program of the festival. The section is called ACID, or Association for the Diffusion of Independent Cinema. This section has been showcasing and promoting independent cinema since early 90s. All right, we'll go across to Munmun Bhattacharya. She is joining us live from Cannes. Munmun, now tell us what is lined up today and what all films are screening at the festival.
Good morning from here in Cannes, Abhishek and the whole team there in India of DD India. Well, there are 4 films that are screening in the Cannes Film Festival in the competition section. Remember, there are 22 films in all that are competing for the Palme d'Or, which is given to the director of the best film. The awards will be given out on the 25th of May. That's when the festival concludes. So the 4 films are Amelia Perez, Limonov, The Ballad, there is Caught by the Tides, and there is a 4th one as well, The Substance. So these 4 movies are screening. As far as Amelia Perez is concerned, I saw a lot of interest around it. There were many people holding placards of Amelia Perez, some asking for tickets, some writing in their phones, simply Amelia Perez. Now this is a musical crime comedy. It stars Selena Gomez, and this is around the Mexican drug cartels. So maybe because of the social relevance that this movie has, there's a lot of interest around it. Many people, like I said, around the Palais des Festivals holding placards. This is the place where most of the cinema is screened of the festival. Then there is, this is of course by French director Jacques Cordia. There's another one by another French director, Kohali Faja, The Substance. Now this is a horror subgenre, and this particular French director is known for The Revenge, The Best. And there is a Chinese movie, Caught by the Tides, and that is a fragile love story that is set in China, that starts in the early 2000s and shows times to the present day. Now this has a new perspective towards contemporary China, as well as towards individual experiences that are shaped by turmoil, both emotional as well as social. And of course there is a Russian director Kirill, whose Limonov, The Ballad, will be screening in the competition section. This is around a Russian poet who lives in New York. So these are the 4 films, and tomorrow a lot of focus is also going to be on India, because in the Uncertain Regard section there is Sandhya Suri's Santosh, which is screening there. This is a debut in feature filmmaking in the narrative form. So a debut in narrative feature filmmaking, really. Now her documentary in the past has already screened in the competition section in the Sundance Festival in 2006. That was Her India. So For India, I beg your pardon. So For India has already screened in the Sundance Film Festival, and this is basically a co-production between India, France as well as UK. She's a British Indian filmmaker and a respected one at that. She's an FTII alumna. So a lot really to look forward to today as well as tomorrow.
All right, Munmun, also talking about Bharat at Cannes. Over the years, Indian cinema has been well represented in the Cannes Film Festivals, and many Indian films have been chosen for varied sections and have won praise from critics. Tell us, how is India doing at the festival this year?
Well, India has made its mark after 30 years. A film is competing for the Palme d'Or. It is Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine Is Light. Now, that is going to screen in the next few days. 23rd, the first screening is expected. One is that. Also, Santosh Sivan, an Indian cinematographer, will be getting the Pia Angenio Award. That is also expected around the 23rd of this month. It's the first time that an Indian cinematographer is going to be honored with this tribute. Having said that, Sandhya Suri Santosh, I told you, will be screening in Uncertain Regards section tomorrow, and there is Karan Kandhari's Sister Midnight that is going to screen in Director's Fortnight, and Manthan has already screened in the Cannes Classic section. It's come in for rave reviews. Many people who saw it said that they didn't know that such a classic really existed, and they wanted it to reach more people. And in fact, on the 1st of June, which is World Milk Day, India will be releasing that in Indian theatres in 70 Indian cities in 4K. Now, this has been restored, and it's been a cumbersome, tough process. Mr. Dungarpur, who is the founder-director of Film Heritage Foundation, spoke on the complexities of the restoration process. So all in all, India has made a mark. It could also be because of the strong relationship that India shares with France. It's a strong strategic partnership led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron. So it could be a reflection of that as well. Of course, there is the creative and cinematic genius of India, which is making all this possible, which is really at the forefront.
Absolutely. Indian cinemas have been creating buzz. Thank you, Munmun. We'll leave it at that. But yes, we'll keep taking updates from you. All right, time now for some sporting updates. We'll start with boxing. Reigning world champion Nikhat and Minakshi clinch gold medals as the Indian team concluded their Elorda Cup 2024 campaign with the best ever tally of a whopping 12 medals. Nikhat continued her dominance in the ongoing prestigious tournament as she outclassed Zaira Urakbayeva of Kazakhstan with a unanimous 5-0 scoreline to add yet another gold medal to her coveted medal tally. Minakshi started the day for India with a bang when she defeated Uzbekistan's Ramonova Saidahon 4-1 in the women's 48kg final to give India its first gold medal of the competition. Besides Nikhat and Minakshi's gold medals, Indian boxers won 2 silver and 8 bronze medals to better their last edition's record of 5 medals. In cricket, Royal Challengers Bengaluru came out on the winning side in the battle for the last available playoff berth against Chennai Super Kings in the Indian Premier League as they beat CSK by 27 runs in a nail-biter on Saturday. The two teams finished at 14 points, but RCB sneaked into the final 4 on the basis of a better net run rate. The other 3 teams who have already qualified are Kolkata Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals and Sunrisers Hyderabad. And in Italian Open, Iga Swiatek beat Arna Sabalenka 6-6-3 to win her 3rd title on Saturday as the Pole came out on top once again in a battle between the top 2 in the women's rankings following her Madrid Open triumph earlier this month. Swiatek broke Sabalenka twice in the first set, where the Belarusian conceded 12 unforced errors in a lopsided start to match. Sabalenka fought back, reaching 5 break points in a bid to lead 2-0 in the second, but Swiatek held her own serve. Sabalenka failed to break again, with Swiatek holding her nerve to save 2 break points on her next serve. The set progressed to 3-3 before the Pole broke again in back-to-back game, this time ensuring her path to victory. Now, dapper dogs steal the show at the 10th annual Puppy Prom in San Diego. The 4-legged fashionistas took part in a catwalk. Amid the chairs and wagging-tailed dogs arrived at the prom, the event was organized by an animal foster group that also reunited the adopted alumni to their rescuers. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.